Welcome to Overdrive AF, official podcast of Overdrive Fitness. My name is Teddy Gerzon, and I'm joined by Gina Marie Gerzon.
What's up, everybody?
What up? What up? What up? All right, so this is episode number 181 of Overdrive AF. And today we want to talk about another trending topic. It's a pretty rapidly growing industry, if you ask me. Wouldn't you say so?
For sure.
And that is peptides, right? So you hear the word thrown around. To be honest, it sounds like a lot of people don't really know what they are. So that's what we want to dive into today. Okay. So today, really, we're just going to lead off with the overview of peptides. And then I would say probably the second most popular one, but one that more people could use than the most popular one that people are using right now.
Mm-hmm. So you want me to start, right?
Yeah.
So as we're talking about the overview of peptides, and when we talk about peptides and think about peptides, we think about amino acids. So they're small chains of amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. And we always know we talk about proteins, but they're distinguished by their longer length. Peptides normally consist of between 2 and 50 amino acids that are linked together by these peptide bonds. They have a very simple structure, and that enables them to be absorbed by the body and utilized by the body more efficiently. They're naturally occurring, and they play a crucial role in numerous biological functions, acting as signaling molecules, and they influence various physiological processes. We'll just name a few: hormone regulation, immune system function, tissue repair, and definitely metabolism, as we've seen in all the GLP-1s that so many tens of thousands of people are on right now. Peptides are the master regulators of most every known process and system in the body, from both a tissue perspective and a cellular specific manner. They definitely get messages where they need to go, and they have a very unique ability to signal and regulate these various biological processes. Most definitely have emerged as powerful tools in both the medical and the cosmetic fields, again, as we've seen within the past couple of years, even within this past year themselves. Their widespread usage can definitely be attributed to their versatility, their specificity for sure, and their high efficacy. And depending upon who you talk to, a relatively low toxicity and side effects compared to traditional pharmaceuticals. I mean, everywhere that you read now, again, there's always maybe the inkling of doubt because things are constantly being tested. But we have to think peptides are very safe and effective. What I think is really awesome too is peptides, although naturally occurring, there are some synthetic peptides out there now. They can be designed to target very specific cellular processes or receptors in the body. And therefore, that's going to lead to very precise therapeutic outcomes, right? And you're seeing now more and more peptides are being shown. They're being created, whether they are naturally occurring or synthetic. And what's amazing is that specificity minimizes these unwanted side effects, possible side effects, and enhances the effectiveness of these treatments for a wide array of conditions, anything from skin aging to muscle wasting to chronic diseases. And I know you wanted to talk about one in particular, Teddy.
Yes. So it's one that, well, first of all, we wouldn't even mention it if we hadn't used it before, right? And I actually had experience with this years ago, this peptide. We started recommending it for several people. One of which was your brother, and he saw like immediate results with it. So what we're getting at is it's a peptide called BPC-157. Right, so it is a synthetic peptide and it's derived from a protective protein found in the stomach called body protection compound, hence the BPC.
Right.
Right. It's composed of 15 amino acids. It's known for its potential for healing and regenerative properties, right? Which is why it was one of the first ones that we've ever tried, right? Research on BPC-157 suggests that it may have a range of benefits, particularly related to tissue repair and inflammation reduction.
And these key potential benefits of BPC-157 include, for one, which I think is extremely important, accelerated wound healing. So in the realm of people who use their body for work, have been, these elite athletes or anybody who really puts their body under constant stress and breakdown. BPC-157 has been studied for its ability to speed up the repair of various types of tissues. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about tissues, that includes the tendons, the ligaments, and the muscles, right? The soft tissue. BPC-157 helps to reduce inflammation. It's been noted to reduce inflammation, which can aid in recovery from injuries or chronic conditions, right? Inflammation, we know, can lead to, we think, dis-ease in the body. Gut health, huge. This is a huge one. Gut health support, which Teddy just spoke about, right? So BPC-157 was originally derived from gastric protein, so found in the gut. It's thought to support gut health by protecting and healing the GI tract. And it's been studied for conditions such as ulcers and IBS, so inflammatory bowel disease. This one I think is huge as well. Pain reduction. Users have reported reduced pain in injuries or chronic conditions when using BPC-157. I mean, if this helps people lay off the pharmaceuticals, the painkillers, and we know the United States has this huge addiction to painkillers. Mm-hmm. That's another amazing potential benefit here. So I know you wanted to talk about the mechanism of action now. So
yes. So, BPC-157, it's believed to promote healing by interacting with growth factors involved in tissue repair. And it also enhances the formation of blood vessels, also known as angiogenesis.
Angiogenesis, right.
This also improves blood flow to the damaged areas, right? So it influences the nitric oxide pathway, which plays a role in tissue regeneration, right? So some of you have even heard of supplements that increase NO, which would be your nitric oxide, mm-hmm. right? So essentially it's doing the same thing, right? So it's increasing that pathway, which will help deliver the BPC-157 throughout your body, right? Especially through the blood, mm-hmm. to help you repair anything that may be damaged.
Right, and we always talk about blood flow, nutrients to the tissue. We always talk about that. Mm-hmm. Right, good blood flow, nutrients to the tissue, healing. We always talk about healing. If we want to start to talk about your administration and usage of BPC-157, for right now, it's commonly available in both your oral and injectable forms. The injectable form is more commonly used in research and fitness settings, as it can be administered directly to the affected area for localized treatment.
Yes.
And that seems to be much more potent. Mm-hmm. The oral form doesn't seem to be absorbed, and it's not as effective.
But it is better than not taking it, right?
I would say if it's that or nothing, then for populations like the elderly or children, if the needle is not, an injectable form is not an option right now, then I would say if it's either that or nothing, then I would say absolutely that oral form is appropriate.
And even just to specify more on the injectable side of it, it's in subcutaneous. It's not intramuscular.
Yes.
Right. So for those of you that hate needles,
I should have.
No, I'm just saying, people hear the word injection and they freak the fuck out.
Well, needles are scary for a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, nobody wants to go to the doctor and get a needle.
No, but it's definitely a different feeling when it's sub-Q as opposed to injected, like intramuscular.
I mean, I used to hate just getting my finger pricked. I have to be honest, that was a pretty traumatizing experience, depending upon the nurse you had.
Yeah, I mean, and then like, isn't there a lot of nerve endings in your fingertips?
Yes,
So
fingers and toes.
It's like
yeah,
it's like exponentially like more painful, compared to just
for sure.
an intramuscular shot to the shoulder or the glute. But anyway, as far as the safety and legality of BPC-157, early studies and anecdotal evidence suggest promising results, but BPC-157 is not approved by major regulatory bodies like the FDA for medical use. However, given the time and day of this episode, which was just a few days after the 2024 election, we can kind of look forward to I would say, more promotion of this type of healing in peptides in general, because RFK, we can assume he'll have a major role in health and fitness for the nation.
I think just by the looks of him and what he has planned, that's definitely something it's gonna be part of his work to allow all of these things to be much more readily available for people.
And just to go back to it not being FDA regulated, a lot of you will just go to Vitamin Shop or GNC and just buy anything off the shelf, especially the cheapest product off the shelf, because it may contain an ingredient that you heard through TikTok or Instagram that is very useful. But just like those things, those are not FDA regulated as well. There are a handful of supplements that are, especially ones that are processed in facilities like Prestige Labs, which are triple tested before they hit the shelves. But
that's why I love that we carry them.
Absolutely, yeah, they're proven. It's not just a label. It's often sold as a research chemical, right? And while some athletes and fitness enthusiasts use it, caution is advised. I mean, everything has side effects, okay? So every supplement has side effects or long-term risks, but they're not fully understood when it comes to BPC-157. So if you are deciding to go down this path, it is important that you consult with a healthcare professional before using it.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, when we talk about BPC-157, it's definitely an intriguing peptide with potential applications. And when we talk about these potential applications, right, we're talking about more rehabilitation, recovery, right? So injury recovery, inflammation reduction. So that could be local and then global, right? Specifically, whether it's a soft tissue injury or a systemic. And then, of course, gut health. And we know, right, they're talking about the gut being the third brain. So they're always doing research. There's still more clinical research needed to fully confirm its efficacy and safety profile. But at the end of the day, what they're showing and what we've been shown is it's safe and effective. These peptides are safe and effective. Again, do your research, right? Speak to people who are knowledgeable. We happen to have a nice amount of knowledge now, being we've been studying these peptides and
using them.
Yep. And at the end of the day, educate yourself. Educate yourself and ask questions.
Yes. Obviously, we happen to highly approve this product, this peptide, because of the results it gives. And even if we want to just start talking about like anecdotal evidence, like so basically just like examples from our personal lives, right? So going back to it, like years ago when I first heard about this, I don't know if any of you sports fanatics listening or watching this right now remember when Tom Brady tore his ACL, right? He was hit hard by I think it was Bernard Pollard. He took a shoulder to his knee. His knee was basically bent 90 degrees the wrong way, to quote Point Break. But anyway, it was rumored that Tom Brady's quick recovery. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like it happened in 3 months, but it usually takes a year to come back from an ACL, and he was fully ready within a year, in less than a year, right? Supposedly he was on this. Now, obviously, we will never know for sure because it was so new at the time. A lot of people weren't talking about it, right?
Right.
We've seen people with torn lats recover pretty quickly, right? Again, going back to your brother, great results. However, like let's be clear too. It can't be the only thing you're doing to take care of your body, right? So you have to be on top of everything else.
It's a piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a piece you have to bring. I think the more you do your research and educate yourself and start to bring with your research and education, bringing multiple modalities in, just like anything else. Would you only do red light therapy? Would you only start practicing good sleep hygiene? No, would you only start eating a little bit better? Would you only just start walking every day? Okay, but pieces of the puzzle to create a successful outcome. We wanna bring as many positive effects into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Don't throw the whole kitchen sink in there, but pick and choose, see what works for you. Peptides with, of course, regular blood work, once you're working with the appropriate professional who can guide you. I think that in itself, I mean, look at all the people who are on all these GLP-1s that people don't talk about it as much, that are not having the best outcomes because they're not being implemented appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're only doing one of the several things that they could be doing, different modalities to be as successful as possible. Does that mean that you just start using the BPC-157 and you still beat your body to shit? You're not sleeping, you're still eating like crap, you're not allowing yourself to recover, maybe you're overtraining? No. You have to follow an appropriate kind of healing protocol. Seek out the appropriate professionals to help guide you.
Should we do a little plug about BPC-157? A little shameless plug?
Sure.
So in the show notes to this episode, we will drop a link to an oral form of BPC-157 that we highly recommend. So like Gina had mentioned earlier, obviously the oral form isn't as potent as the injectable form,
Mm-hmm.
but it is better than not getting it at all. And on top of that, we do have a source for it that is highly trusted. Let's put it that way. We highly trust and recommend this company. So we'll drop the link to get that in the show notes. And through that link, you can even get 10% off.
Mm-hmm.
So, boom. Start feeling better, healing, repairing, and for a discount.
Hey.
Yes. And if you're listening and watching, obviously you're one of our members or fans, if you may even say that. So you obviously trust everything that we throw at you. Again, we wouldn't just throw something out there that we have no idea about or haven't even practiced with. Anything else to add on BPC-157 or peptides in general?
I think we have much more to talk about.
Yes, this is a huge industry. So many different peptides out there. You can anticipate that we will have future episodes talking about different ones. Coupled with the excitement that people like RFK Jr. will be helping to bring these things more to the public.
Yes, making America healthy again.
Yes, I cannot wait. I'm so glad it's already starting.
Mm-hmm.
And even before he steps foot into the administration, we've always been here to help you get healthy again, right? So it's just great to have a national figure spotlighting that.
Yeah.
He was actually pretty jacked.
Jacked and it's got a 6-pack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He obviously lifts. We know that. He lifts heavy.
And
Preach
he
it.
eats clean.
Fruits and vegetables, proteins, carbs, healthy fats.
Sorry, I keep...
No, I'm just being silly.
No, those are all very important. And he talks about all that, too.
Yep.
So, well, I mean, one of my favorite things he mentioned was, he said fast food is part of American culture. So he's not saying, like, you should never have it. But he's saying it used to be better. It used to be healthier. Let's put it that way.
Instead of what could be in it right now.
Like I was going over a list the other day of the top 8 franchises that actually have high quality beef, that use 100% beef in their burgers. And it's crazy because McDonald's and Burger King was not on that list.
Oof.
Gross.
Oof.
But again, BPC-157 peptides. We're here to help clear up everything on that. We led off with this specific peptide today because that's one that we highly recommend for a lot of people that need it. And it's just amazing.
Yeah, in regards to wound healing, just healing in general. Healing on a local level or healing on a global level. Reducing inflammation. That's big. And of course, gut health. Those 3 things are huge. Huge.
Yeah, so, and that last thing you just said, I mean, it's funny how we brought this up after we just did an episode on microbiome.
Yes.
Boom.
Boom.
All right, so that's all we have for you today. Please tune in next week for another episode of Overdrive AF. But again, this was episode number 181. And
181.
I know, we're getting close to 200. What are we going to do for 200?
I don't know.
Smash a watermelon or a piñata. And then the piñata will drop out peptides and pre-workout. Unmixed peptides. We don't want any needles falling out with it too. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week in another episode of Overdrive AF. But on that note, we are out. Peace.